You've been probably one of the most ardent backers of Ukraine in the Senate here, but what took so long to get some of these other 8 Republicans persuaded to your position? Or was it the overall nature of this bill and what was lost in that time period for Ukraine?
Well, that's a good question. You already know the answer. I think the demonization of Ukraine began by Tucker Carlson, who, in my opinion, ended up where he should have been all along, which is interviewing Vladimir Putin. And so he had an enormous audience, which convinced a lot of rank-and-file Republicans that maybe this was a mistake. I think the former president had sort of mixed views on it. We all felt that the border was a complete disaster, myself included. And Chad, you remember covering the phases we went through. First, there was an effort to make law, which requires you to deal with Democrats. And then a number of our members thought it wasn't good enough. And then our nominee for president didn't seem to want us to do anything at all. That took months to work our way through it. So we ended up doing the supplemental that was originally proposed, which dealt with not all problems. It didn't solve the border problem, but certainly addressed the growing threats at the moment.
And that's how powerful media can be. According to Mitch McConnell, at Tucker Carlson's height, he was able to grab Congress and control the narrative of Congress to the point where people changed their votes and sided against democracy, which is what was going on in Ukraine, and side with fascism, Putin's country. And because he was able to control the Republican Party in the House and the Senate, he got them to forestall spending bills to assist a sovereign country from an invasion of a fascist dictator. And he got a former president to side with him. And because of all of that, it took them months, just like he stated.
Well, that took months to work our way through it.
Just to get back to the original bill they had planned to pass all along.
So we ended up doing the supplemental that was originally proposed.
But only this time, they did not get any border security funding. They lost following media and following Tucker Carlson. These were people that sat in skiffs, which are secured rooms, looking at the intel and looking at the facts of Russia, Ukraine, and all of our enemies. And they still decided to go with media. And a lot of them tapped into social media because Tucker Carlson will put his clips on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or X, for their advice and for their guidance. That's how powerful media is. So when they talk about banning TikTok, this is why. Because you can be influenced by people like me, hence the term social media influencer, which I really don't consider myself an influencer. I'm just an informant. But now I'm not a snitch. I just inform the news. You know what I do. In this kind of media, rather than looking at the truth of what is really going on in America, and that's what I do here. I give you the truth of what's going on, and I give you primary sources. Follow me and try to support a brother so I can keep giving you this kind of content. And whenever I'm done, I always ask you, what do you think?